So a couple of weeks ago, like 1 or 2 weeks ago, I did a poll. And in that poll, I voted on whether or not people wanted to see how I do everything on my YouTube channel. And surprisingly, a lot of you actually wanted to see it. So now I'm doing it. And this is something that a lot of big name YouTubers never do, or barely show bare bones minimum of how they do things. And I don't know why they do that. It's kind of, maybe they don't care. Maybe they're not thinking everything through. Maybe they want to do it fast. Or maybe they're also scared of competition and they don't want to like reveal all their secrets or something like that. Today, I'm actually going to be talking about how I do all of my YouTube. Scheduling, planning, recording, editing, all of that stuff. And also, all of this video is going to be put in chapters to help people see things that they want to see. As a Let's Player, I don't put chapters in any of my other content, but for something like this is actually more for putting chapters in. So that's why, if a lot of people wonder why I never put chapters in any of my videos, this is the reason why. If you watch the video fully and see that I'm doing something wrong or doing something that I can improve on as a YouTuber, let me know. Put it in the comments. But this is how I do YouTube. Now, before I'm able to make any content, the first thing I need is good sleep. Once that's done, I wake up, and from there, I do my normal daily routines. Getting breakfast, uploading my video, and then after that, getting to school. While I'm sleeping in the middle, I actually have my computer render my video while I sleep, since my computer can't handle processes that could usually be done while I do my normal daily routines, because my computer's too outdated and old. After I get my breakfast, I usually upload my content. Once it's uploaded, I then begin putting in all the stuff: title, description, tags, all that kind of stuff. I also Photoshop the photo and get it ready to be uploaded for the day. And I always try to make sure to try to have the video get published immediately at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. From there, I begin my education once the video is been confirmed to be good enough to be able to be published. Usually I do my education for almost all of the day. Once all of that's done, occasionally I'll have a family member ask me to help around the home. The said family member will have me do chores, and the chores can vary. Sometimes it can take 5 minutes, sometimes it can take 2 hours. After everything is done for the day, I usually will record. Recording only happens once every 7 days. I have one day out of the entire week as a day to be able to record all of the content in advance, because I'm never given a full guarantee that I can record every day. I set aside one day as a day that I can record everything. Sometimes I can record an entire week. Sometimes I can record an entire 2 weeks. Now, once that day is up, every single day, specifically the nighttime of those days, I edit and render/export every single one of the videos and upload them to YouTube. And that's the entire cycle I do for my YouTube channel. Now for my setup. Right here, all the way from here to here, is where I hang my tarp. The tarp is used to cover my background surroundings due to the fact that I don't want any annoying background things and distractions. Right there's my computer. That's the computer I use to do everything: editing, recording, all that. Here's my second monitor. My second monitor is literally used to show my OBS and other softwares. And over here's my main monitor. This is where I record the games and everything. Right here's the webcam. I use this for streaming. And the reason why my computer's on my desk is usually on the ground, but it's not, due to the fact that my Logitech webcam has to be connected directly into my PC. Over here's my Phantom power box. This is what uses to power my microphone. You can actually see right now that as I'm talking, it's glowing green. If it glows red, it's too loud. And all of this is what I use that connects to my mic. My mic is a somewhat cheap mic at current time of recording. It's not good, but it does the job. Over here is a pop filter I rarely ever use. Over here is a tripod for my camcorder. I have these little green dots on the table to mark where I want my tripod's angle to be for my recording of my face and body. Over here is my lighting. It's not good, but it does the job. Since I can't afford standard content creator LED lights. Okay, so the first thing is this is the front of my desktop. This is literally everything. Games that I'm doing series on, games that I only play for fun, games that are going to have series very soon, lots of stuff. Games that I deem that only are good for streaming. This right here in front of me is called a Voxigo Marvel GQ. Now what this is this is a third-party attachment for OBS, because the recording software that I use to record all of my videos is OBS, which is right here. Look at this infinite loop. God, that looks horrible. Right here, actually, before I go more into this, you can actually see that there are 3 different audio channels right here. So one thing about me is I'm very, very methodical when it comes to trying to make good quality content. And all 3 of these channels right here are different sections that will have audio in them. Right here's my mic. You can actually see that I'm talking right now because of this. Here's game and audio, and this is Discord. I put all of these in separate channels so that when I'm editing, I can kind of increase or decrease the sound of something to make it either be heard or not as heard and not overlap something else that might be important, because I really care about audio engineering. And how I am able to have the ability to have video game, Discord, and my mic all separately is through the use of Voicemeeter Banana, which is a sound software that splits all of your stuff on your computer into separate channels. And I use this a lot to really make sure that everything is not in a single audio line, because I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with the annoying crap of having to lower the in-game audio or increase and decrease my friend's audio in Discord and that kind of stuff. So having 3 separate audio channels that when you edit is actually really beneficial. As for sources, I always usually just record display, because I mean, a game is also usually really a high quality and all that stuff, but yeah. Over here we have image. What image is it's for my streaming. It's just a black screen. It's literally just a black screen. Like when I'm switching to a different, so these 2 are just for, this one's literally my webcam, which, hey look, there I am right there. What a weird little, like, oh god, it's the Matrix. And it's not even properly adjusted. It should actually be a little higher and not even like that. So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, so pretty much the only thing that's always shown is the display, not these others. As for settings, everyone's settings is very different. My computer is an absolute dumpster fire. It's a very old computer. I want to upgrade my computer, but if I want to upgrade my computer to the newest technology and also make sure that it always produces the highest quality, it would probably take me roughly $4,000. But yeah, it's a very old and outdated computer. And every year, AAA titles are getting more and more newer, and they require more and more advanced technology and CPUs and GPUs. And my computer's like, at this point, 10-15 years old. My settings are pretty much just super basic, but for the video and the recording part about it, it's pretty different, because like I said, I have to kind of record my content in like the most bare bones minimum way possible, because I don't want to have a video that only gets 30 FPS or 10 FPS. So I can't record in something like lossless quality and all that stuff because my computer cannot handle it. Hell, most of the games that I play, I usually play on low or medium settings. I never play on high or ultra because my computer will scream, my recording will scream, all that will scream. Now, for microphone, I do have one other little thing. I have these, which is called audio filters. I use these audio filters to help to increase and improve the sound of my voice because the microphone that I'm using is like $10 or $15. It's not really good. The best microphone is like roughly $300, and the really, really good ones, which are studio mics, are like $3,000. Since I can't afford either or, I have this thing right here in front of me, which is $10 to $15. And these all do different things. Some of them increase the tone, some of them decrease background sound, some of them increase like the treble and all that stuff. And this other software that I was talking about also helps to improve it. This pretty much makes it so that my voice sounds a little deeper, because one thing I hate about the sound of my voice is it's not right with the microphone, because when I hear my voice and other things, it's not what it should sound like. It sounds way worse because, like I said, you get what you paid for. These mics aren't that good. So this kind of helps it make it sound like a podcast kind of radio voice, and that I like because this is actually what my voice sounds like in real life. So I'm happy that it sounds like that and not sounding like a high-pitched whiny voice, which usually it does that if I didn't have this stuff enabled. So this is all of the normal stuff that is for my audio, because I really go into detail when it comes to audio. And that's pretty much really straightforward. I just press record, start recording, that's it. One other important thing, now that I think about it, I occasionally will also use this. What this is it pretty much, this right here separates the tracks into their own individual things. But when I switch this to monitor only, it makes it so that I can hear myself, because occasionally there will be static in my videos and static in my microphone, and that's because of how cheap this microphone is. So once in a while I have to hear myself to make sure there's no static, so I can fix that. And that happens a lot. There's been a couple of videos, I think 13 videos, where you can hear static in my microphone, and I absolutely hate it, because I am a person that wants to make the best quality as good as possible. So that's pretty much very straightforward. I pick a game and I play the game. And like I showed in the beginning of the video when I was showing my equipment, I have a schedule. This thing right here. This is the normal schedule. So that's how I worked out my schedule and figured out how to do my schedule and everything like that. Also, as a YouTuber, when I first started YouTube, I had the bare bones minimum and equipment of a YouTuber, because when it comes to being a YouTuber, you can pretty much be a YouTuber with the most expensive equipment or with the cheapest equipment, but it also varies on what you're doing. For instance, if you're doing beauty videos, a cell phone will suffice. But if you're doing something like Let's Plays like me, if you want to do the latest AAA titles, you need to have a computer that can handle it. Because I used to do my YouTube videos on a very crappy library computer. And you can kind of see how bad those videos were. Like they're example of my evolution as a content creator. I definitely did really grow as a content creator and really improve. And they aren't the best, but they're still a piece of my history, and I'm not going to get rid of them off my channel. I also used to record on Bandicam, and originally my Bandicam used to be not paid for, so there was that stupid watermark. So that was not good. Because also at the same time, my computer couldn't handle recording with OBS. My newer computer, this old computer, which is not the library computer, can handle both recording the game and using OBS and all the other stuff, which is great. I would use a webcam to record, but my computer definitely couldn't handle that because it has to record like 3 different things. It has to play the game, record the camera, and record OBS. Some people do use webcams to record, and do one whole thing in OBS, but it really puts a strain on your computer. So that's why I use a camcorder, the one that I'm talking to right now, because it gives me the ability to see what's going on with the camcorder. Also, it's less stress on my computer since the camcorder is not attached to the computer or anything like that. Now, as for camcorder, I have to sync my camcorder, and how I do that is before every video, I literally do this: 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. I do that a lot, and you're gonna see that in the next segment of how, when I'm editing, why I do that, and I'll explain why I do the whole clapping. It's literally to sync it, but that's pretty much why I do the clapping. It's at the beginning of every episode and of any content that I do, is to make sure that the video is synced. And funny enough, this camcorder stops recording at the 28th minute mark. And then there'll be like a few seconds where it's not recording and it restarts. So every time that happens, I also have to edit that part out, since that's literally just a dead space of no camera. And at the end of my video, if it's only been an hour long, I have to do the 3, 2, 1s at the end too, so that I can make sure that the first part of the camera and the second part of the camera sync with the entire video. Very convoluted bullshit, I know. Now, anyway, like I was saying, as being a content creator, you can pretty much do anything with any type of equipment you have. But sometimes having better equipment will help you out in the long run, especially when you're trying to compete with bigger content creators, because bigger content creators have bigger monies to spend, and I have to compete with people that can literally buy the latest AAA title the immediate day it comes out and be able to play it the immediate day it comes out. For me, I can't do that. I have to wait on sales to buy my games, and some of my games are a little bit old, and people sometimes complain that it's too old. And also, I get some of my games free on Epic Games, so it's kind of like I'm trying my hardest to give good content, but there's only so much I can give. It kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. Also, truthfully, since I've been talking a lot, I don't even know what I'm saying, so I'm kind of tired. But that's pretty much how I do YouTube. Now, as for being a YouTuber, YouTube is definitely a very unfair platform. And I want to be as truthful as possible. You have to, it's a battle royale. It is a battle royale that you have to compete. Because when it comes to YouTube, you had to compete with so many people, not just small people that are in your ring, but also bigger content creators. Because a lot of people have loyalty with those bigger content creators and do not know or care about you. So you have to compete with bigger content creators, people with short attention spans, rivals. You have to compete with a lot of people. For instance, at time of recording, me talking, I have to compete with over 1.7 million different gaming channels. That's a lot. That is a lot. And at the spot that I'm in right now, I have to compete with 2,441 other channels that share the same spot with me. That is pretty annoying. That's actually pretty brutal. A lot of these stats are actually kind of crap. Like, I do not earn any money, so keep that in mind. If you see this, I do not earn a single dime. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to get monetization. So if you're going for the money, good luck, because I gave up on that a long time ago, because I would love to get like a little bit of revenue to fucking buy AAA titles and stuff like that. But at time of recording, I only have 300 watch hours, and I'm barely halfway to 1,000 subscribers. So I don't care about that. I only care about getting 1,000 subscribers just to feel like I've done some sort of accomplishment. So when it comes to being a YouTuber, it's a very brutal, unfair world, and you really have to compete and kind of be bloodthirsty and cutthroat to make it. And it's kind of sad, because I definitely believe that you should never sell your soul, because there's a lot of, because the older content creators are starting to go out. They're starting to quit, they're starting to retire, they're starting to die, they're starting to move on. And the newer generation of content creators are horrible. They're degenerates, they're barely intelligent, they're complete idiots. They're making a mockery of my generation and the new next generation. Now, So this is pretty much all of my 2 cents as to how to be a YouTuber and what to do as a YouTuber, because I put a lot of work into my YouTube channel. For instance, even my ending theme, for instance, I actually got that off of YouTube Library, and I edited and manipulated the music to make it sound better. So that's like, I put a lot of effort into my YouTube channel. And when I got Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe Photoshop, it really helped out because I was able to crop photos and crop music and all that stuff. And it really helped, and I improved the quality of my videos. It really, really helps out. And we're actually going to now go and talk about editing. So let's go to that part. So now, after I'm done remuxing the video and turning it from an MKV to an MP4, I then put it into Adobe Premiere Pro, which is my editing software. First, I put video game recording into the editing software. And then after it's done generating the peak file, which takes a little bit of time, I'll then drag and drop the camera footage. Now, editing for my channel is a little bit interesting. How I edit, since I'm a Let's Player, is I record the story of the content. I don't make montages, I don't do speed runs, I don't do anything like that. What I do is I try to edit it as much as possible, but depending on what the game is and how it was like, sometimes I have to edit a lot, or sometimes I don't have to edit as much. So now I've dragged and dropped the camera footage. It's also going to generate a peak file, so it's going to take a little bit of a second. Pretty much when this happens, I like adjust my hair, which I don't know why this always pokes out. I don't know what's wrong with my hair. I have a comb on my desk, and before every recording I comb my hair, but for some reason my hair just likes to poke out. And I don't know why. I shampoo and body wash like every 3 days, so I don't know why that does that. It is what it is. So anyway, so now I have the footage, and as you can see, there are four audio channels. That's the, like I said in the recording section, that's the 3 different separate audio channels. This is my mic, this is the game, this empty one is the Discord, which since I wasn't talking to anyone on Discord, that's empty, and then this is the camera footage. So what happens is I'm just going to delete this track since I don't need it, since that's the Discord track. And what then happens is I'm going to sync my footage with what I have, because right here is the 3, 2, 1s that I normally do, which is 3, 2, 1 clap. And I pretty much sync the webcam with the game. And I try to sync it as much as possible to the closest millisecond so that it is completely almost on par and synced perfectly. So pretty much I just listen to this. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Yes, I was eating food. 3, 2, 1. Ow, my hand hurts. Oh yeah, and the reason why my hand hurts is it's extremely cold right now where I'm at, and I don't have heating, so my hand hurts because of that. So now that I know that the audio is synced, I will cut this part out. I'll just cut this. I don't know all the hotkeys, and I have trouble memorizing all the hotkeys, so I just do the standard cutting. So I'll delete this, move this a little down closer, and then what happens is I'm going to decrease the size in the scale section to 35, the standard that I always do. And then I don't want this part because there's like this little thing that's completely there's this kind of space that I don't like because there's nothing going on here and there's nothing going on here except for my stand and my pop filter. So I pretty much move it up to here, which should be good. And then in effects, there's tons of effects. This is why I love Adobe Premiere Pro. I can just crop using the crop, and I just drag and drop it into there. And then I try to crop out as much of it as possible. And there we go. So then what happens is I will lower the game audio because the game audio is far louder than my microphone because, like I said, when I was talking about my equipment, my microphone is extremely cheap. So because of the cheapness, the quality in sound is actually far lower than most dynamic studio microphones that tons of bigger content creators have. So I have to make it so that the game can be heard, but also my voice, because if it both overlap each other, it will become super hard to understand what I'm saying or even hear the game, and vice versa. So I have to then lower the audio of the game so that it can hear me more, but still hear the game. So pretty much I listen in for how loud the game's audio is through the soundboard thingy right here, which shows the decibels. So I'm just gonna mute myself so I can hear it. I usually want to kind of get it in half, so around at the 30 or 42 mark. I don't like having it above, so I can already see that maybe it's gonna be a negative 5. So let's try that. Let me see, because the game audio in the beginning can either be extremely loud or extremely quiet, so you had to kind of go with what is generally happening in the game. Like there, it's still too loud. So I might go for a 10 or 15. So I'm gonna lower it even further and put it down to 10 or 15. Let's do 10 first and see how that sounds. And now see how I sound with respect to it. It's alive. Eat that. Okay, there we go. I hate that, like... Oh, okay. He gave tons of shit. Oh, that's wonderful. That's so wonderful. Just to be safe than sorry, because there's many times where it still sounds too loud. Just to be safe than sorry, I'll put it slightly down a little more. I'll set it to 12. 12.3, that's good enough. Fuck. Oh, fuck you, lady. Okay, that wasn't that bad. I got my health back, and I got a key, so it kind of... Actually, yeah, so it's all about just constantly hearing it, so you kind of got to lower it. I need to lower it even further. I want to make sure that it's good. Like, worked out. It kind of worked out. Okay, yeah, that actually sounds better. That sounds far better. I can hear the game. I can hear my voice. There's no overlapping. At the end of my videos, like I also said in the recording, I also do a 3, 2, 1 clap because there's a certain time when the webcam shuts off and starts up a new recording, and it's for longer videos. It usually happens at the 38th minute mark of the camcorder recording. So I think in this one, either I did it or I didn't do it. So let's see. Did I do it? 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. Yeah, so since I don't need this, I'm just going to cut this part out because I don't need it. And then what happens is once I've done all of the standard stuff that I do in the beginning of my editing, I'll then listen to my entire video. I literally listen to my entire video. I don't skip. I don't cut corners. I listen to the entire thing. And then I try to figure out if maybe there's a certain part that should be edited out because it's kind of dragging on, or it doesn't feel like it's going smoothly. Like, for instance, there's this whole long, like I might cut this part out because of this whole long just quietness where I just look like I'm dead inside. Instead, I'm just focusing because that's my focusing face. So this part I might edit out, even though it being maybe 20 seconds of just dead quietness, I might edit that part out. So pretty much what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to watch the entire thing and just edit it. And like I said, it really depends on the video game, because like I said, I'm a Let's Player, so I record story-driven content. I don't make montages. And the reason why I also don't make montages is because I'm buying, for instance, if I'm buying a very expensive game, why only make like 3 episodes of the video game and pretty much put very little content out there, but make it look like it's large amounts of content when I could just record the story? Like, for instance, Doom Eternal story, record the full thing. So sometimes I'm not happy with how long series are, but at the same time, there's nothing I can really do because the story is a long story. I'm sorry, it's going to be 30 minutes to an hour long. There's nothing really I can do with that, because people always want more and more longer story-driven games, so developers and the gaming industry are doing that. So instead of making a very long, making so many parts, like part 37 of this series, just make an hour-long video, and that maybe decreases how many parts are going to be to the series by 2 or 4 parts, so that it's faster and you can get it done quicker. That's how my mindset works. So this is a 25-minute video. It's not that bad. I'm gonna watch the entire thing, and from what I remember in this, I made a lot of progress, so I don't have to edit that much, because usually I edit based off of many different variables. Like I said, if I backtracked and made mistakes, I'll edit that out, because it's going to be just this huge dead air of me trying to fix mistakes. If I am just quiet because it's not really an important thing and I'm not doing anything at the moment. If I fumble on my reading, because yeah, I sometimes read and I make tons of mistakes. I don't know why. There's tons of probabilities that come with my recording and my editing that I have to take into consideration, especially when I'm editing. I gotta think of this, I gotta think of that. And if my mic crackles, I have to use audio softwares to try to decrease the crackling to make it not as distorted. And I think in this video, it was like that. There was a little bit of crackling. So there's tons of stuff that I have to do. And especially the most important thing is I watched the entire video. I watched my entire video to make sure that it is good from beginning to end to everything. Then after it's done, when I'm done editing, I pretty much export it. I export it and I use these settings right here that I'm going to show you. Pretty much everyone's exporting is different, because some people have better computers. They have AMD CPUs. They have all this. So some people's, the way that they export their content is far different than mine, because I'm trying to do it where I can get it done quickly and I can upload the video quickly, because my computer can't handle exporting a video and producing the finished product. But this is some of the stuff. This I'll let scroll down and you can copy it and see if you like it, or you can always change it up, because there's also a couple of YouTubers out there with how-to videos on how to make high quality exported videos that you can and its settings. So this is all of them right here. Yeah, I'll just keep scrolling down. I pretty much played around. It was pretty much, when I first got Adobe Premiere Pro, it was legitimately just a process of trial and error. Audio, I never changed anything with that. I never changed anything with this. Effects, I don't have anything. I didn't do any changes with the effects. Metadata, this is the metadata, and then this is the general, which I didn't do anything on that. So this is legitimately all of it. And then once it's done exporting, it will export to my SSD, which is called F to pay respects. And that's pretty much it. Now, my opinion on Adobe Premiere Pro, because a lot of people don't probably have Adobe Premiere Pro, but I do want to say this. There are tons of beneficial editing softwares out there that can really help you with your YouTube channel. And there are a lot. Sony Pro Vegas, if you can't afford Adobe Premiere Pro, because it is a rent system, Adobe knows that they're top shit. So what they did is they made it a monthly subscription, and it's not cheap, to say the least. That's why I'm so broke. It's absolutely not cheap. So it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the best editing softwares, because it comes with so many bells and whistles. It is so amazing, the stuff. Like, there's so much. Like, when I start doing higher tier quality stuff, like, I'm gonna start improving the content more and more, but I'm learning at kind of a somewhat snail's pace. And when I actually make the second channel, a lot of the effects and stuff are going to be used from Adobe Premiere Pro, but it comes with so many effects. It gives you the ability to blur, censor, crop stuff, tons of stuff. Change color, saturation, all of it is wonderful. If you can't afford Adobe Premiere Pro, if you want a one and done purchase, Sony Pro Vegas and all of their collections, they're pretty good. I used Sony Pro Vegas before I ever used Adobe Premiere Pro. Yes, you can see a difference in quality. I noticed that the quality of Sony Pro Vegas made videos is not as good as the quality of Adobe Premiere Pro made videos, and you can definitely tell. When I see it, I was like, yeah, I can tell. So there's a ton of also free editing softwares, but I've never used any of the free ones. And the old saying is you get what you paid for, and they don't come with all of the great bells and whistles that would really help you and really make your editing such a easy, stressless scenario. So the free ones are slightly difficult and slightly lacking. But if you don't have the money for Adobe or Sony Pro Vegas, you can always just use the free stuff. And the free stuff is, like I said, you get what you paid for. So that's pretty much how I edit stuff. This is legitimately how I edit everything. And now on to the next part, which is photoshopping. Okay, now I'm on to photoshopping. So once I'm done exporting the video and it's exporting overnight while I'm sleeping, I will then upload it when I wake up. And uploading, thankfully, is far faster than exporting because like I said, my CPU is so old and my graphics card's so old that my computer cannot go through it extremely fast. Some people can export in a matter of minutes. It takes me a matter of hours. I think from what I remember, 30 minutes is 4 hours. So 1 hour is 8 hours. So yeah, that's how bad my computer is. So once I'm done with all of that, I then have to do the very fast, speedy thing of photoshopping. Because at this point, it's about, when I wake up, it's about maybe 10 a.m. and I need to get it uploaded and I need to have it ready at 2 p.m. So this is where it gets really tricky. So one thing that I took extremely to heart is in YouTube's image section, they tell you that some images may be protected under copyright. Since I'm really worried about that and I really do not want to get attacked by someone for using their work without their permission, even though I didn't know, I'm still at fault and I don't want to be at fault because it's an accident. Sorry for the burp. I'm eating food right now. I'm eating a sandwich, but I try to find photos that are pretty much free public domain photos and stuff from the video game, stuff that's in the video game, stuff that I could recreate if I wanted to, stuff that doesn't take that much effort. So I try to find stuff on Google Images that is super not dangerous to use, pretty much. My vocabulary is kind of drawing a blank on it. What happens is I will take a photo sometimes. Like, for instance, I try to think strategically how I want to make a photo, because when it comes to images, there's not as much on the internet that you can really use, especially for certain games. Like, some games don't have that much going for it, so you kind of have to work with what you've got. So I try to think strategically. For instance, we're going to be making right now a photo for Colt Canyon. Now, the photo resolution of a standard YouTube thumbnail is 1280 by 720. So that's what we have right now. This is a blank canvas. So I've already taken a photo of the game and I'm going to be using that. And I'm also going to find some assets on the internet, which we're going to do right now. Okay, now we're on Google Images. So now the big problem is having to deal with Creative Commons versus commercial use. This is where it becomes problematic. If it's commercially licensed, you usually have to buy the license. So pretty much people say that you should just buy the stock. But that's another problem. I can't afford buying the licenses to photos and shit. So, and buying like stuff from Shutterstock and all that stuff. So I can't do that. I really can't do that. I cannot do that. So pretty much I have to try to find a photo that isn't licensed so that I can use it as for part of my thumbnail. So the best thing I think I can do is just find a random cowboy. That's what I have to do. Because the thing about it is I want to make my content very close to what is happening in the game, especially my thumbnail. I want to make my thumbnail as close to what's going on in the video. So pretty much I just spend legitimately just hours trying to fucking find a thumbnail that I can somewhat use. Okay, now that I am done with finding a photo, I found a photo that I think potentially is good and will not really be copyrighted or anything like that by the owner. So pretty much what happens is now I'm going to highlight all of this, because this is the background that I want it to be from a scene from my video. And yeah, that's a lot of blood. This is a lot of blood. And yes, I take photos of my games using Bandicam. That's what I use Bandicam now for. And since it's 920 by 1080, I have to shrink it down to normal size for a thumbnail, which is this. Okay, there, now it's good. Now what's gonna happen is I wanna blur the background a little bit. I wanna blur the background, and what's gonna happen is I'm gonna use, I think, this blur. It takes a moment for it to blur, I think. Or no, it did. It's one of these ones that blurs, because I always forget. I think it's blur field, yes. Okay, now with this little circle, I can see how much I want to blur. Maybe it's a lot, maybe it's a little. Like I can go full, like, look at that. That's so blurry. You couldn't even tell what that is. I think that's good enough. That looks like a good blur. Now I'm gonna bring our cowboy. Now the cowboy is gonna be difficult since our cowboy here is not a PNG. I'm gonna have to try to get as much of him as possible without having to deal with the whole white background bullshit. Now I hit Q so I can figure out how much bleed through the white there is. And there's not that much. I can crop out a majority of the white. This I don't like. I have a very keen eye when it comes to quality, so I don't like the white. I'm gonna try to get that. Okay, no. Oh, that pisses me off. Okay. Okay, that's good enough. So what happens, I'm gonna cut him and I'm gonna move him over here. Here's our boy, Cowboy Man. Look at that sexy ass face. So now I got this. Most of the time, I don't think I would use all of the body, so this is good enough. So now I'm going to try to crop out all of this white because I don't like this. So I'm going to try to use the lasso tool, which is slightly difficult to use, but if done properly, you can kind of get rid of things like this. Okay, and that doesn't look too bad. Now this. Okay. Okay. That doesn't look that bad. Because this will probably pretty much be the size if I can put it to 100. This is pretty much what they'll see. They won't really see too much of like small white pixels. Let me keep cropping a little more. Try to get it as close to the person as possible without cutting any parts of him and making him kind of missing body parts. Okay. No, I don't like it either still. It's because of this little area right here. If I can kind of get rid of this, get rid of that more. Okay, that should be good. No, I don't like that either. I don't like this right here. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, that looks good. Well, no, actually, there's a little bit of like weird invisible shit over here, like a ghost. Okay, okay. Now it looks okay. So now what I have to do is I have to remove this dude's head. I have to pretty much remove this dude's head and, annoyingly enough, replace it with my head, because usually I put my head on stuff. Because like it doesn't make any sense putting a generic cowboy in a video that has you in it and not the person that's here. So now I just need to, so pretty much I have to crop out as much of his head as possible up to the cowboy hat, which is a problem because look at that right there happens. The crop thingy, I think what's called is quick select tool. It will see the cowboy hat and be like, oh, okay, let's get rid of the cowboy hat. And I can't really control it. I can't tell it, hey, stop it, you're fucking it up. Okay, let me see. Yeah, okay. There we go. Dude's gone. Now I had to put in my head. So now one thing about YouTube is I took a lot of photos of myself with different facial expressions, you know, like this, or this, or this. So I did that kind of stuff, and I put a bunch of those in a little section that I use for like, that's for like stuff that I can continuously use. Because sometimes some parts of photos I can reuse in other photos. And in other times, there's stuff in photos that I use for thumbnails that I can't even use anymore. That's just how it goes. So for this, I'm gonna try to find a photo. And I need to figure out what I want to do. Do I want to do like happy face? Do I want to do serious face? I got to think of what I want to put as the thumbnail and what is my face. And I think I found the photo that I want to use. Kind of a smirk with like an eyebrow being raised photo. So what's going to happen is I'm going to crop this, crop my hair because I can use the black of my hair as kind of a cover for the hat, especially if there's a little bit of openings and gaps from the cropped head that I removed. So let me just make sure let me make sure to highlight everything. That looks good enough. Okay, so then what happens is I'll just drag and drop it and then put it over here. Oof, boy, look at how big my face is. I hate looking at it. Okay, anyway, let me just lower this and overlap it with the cowboy. That looks pretty bad. I think I need to move it a little bit further. Now, so first off, I need to figure out where I want my neck to be because I need to kind of match my neck with what's going on. So that looks okay. That looks okay. So now I have to kind of get rid of all this shit or cut out the... Pretty much I'm gonna make myself invisible. I might just, no. God damn it, I have problems, I'm having difficulties. I might just highlight the entire hat and just crop the hat completely out and then just make it its own layer. So that I can just put it over my head, like that. Now the problem is we're having the problem that I was worried about, which was, the issue that I was saying, where the hat it has gaps in it because of the size of my head with respect to the size of everything. So I need to kind of figure out how I'm going to do this. So technically the hat is okay in my opinion. It's my head and everything that's not okay. So I have to do a little extra work. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna crop out my head, this part. I can just get rid of it. There we go. That looks nice. There, that looks even better. Now, what I'm probably going to have to do is I'm going to have to add a little bit of black here. So starting all the way over to here. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to paint. So I'm gonna make an all black, just all pure black, and I'm gonna paint in this area. Just make it all pure black so that it looks like it's the cowboy hat and the cowboy hat is curving behind the back of my head. Let me just make sure to get everything, like every single thing. I don't want a single thing out. And now the problem is there's still a little bit left. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do a little more painting and I have to put in a lot of detail. So let me make sure that it is completely good because I do not want any problems. Okay, that looks good for the cowboy hat. Now what I have to do is I have to get rid of these little things because these are ugly as hell. I don't know why they're here. So, and therefore they're in here. So maybe get rid of that. Get rid of that. Perfect. Get rid of this. Perfect. So now it's starting to look good. I think I might add another line for the cowboy hat. Maybe here. And then maybe like a little nub. So that then it looks like it's going down. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. The face looks a little too big with respect to the head and everything, but it doesn't look that bad size-wise, because also you can kind of see that it kind of squeezes into my head kind of can squeeze into the hat. Like you can kind of see that. Skin color is a slight problem. I need to figure out how I can Photoshop skin colors. But what I can do for this case is I can highlight my entire head again, and then I can kind of play around with my skin color so that my skin color, being this pasty white, can somewhat match with the person in question, because all of the cameras that I took the photos of my face with have terrible lighting, because the lighting that I'm using isn't actually real lighting. It's just fluorescent light bulbs being shined into my face. It's not like LED lights like the normal content creators, like those rings. So now I can kind of do hue saturation and see if I can make myself a little pink in the face. Let's see. Oh no, that's too much. Let's see. Let me see. Can I make myself a little pink in the face? Pink in the face. Jesus, that looks so bad. Look, hey, look, this is the photo. This is I'm just background cosmic radiation. Okay, no, that's not gonna cut it. That's why I love about Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop. They have history. So if you make a mistake, you can just go backward. So let me think. How can I do this? Because that's the problem. I need to figure out brightness. Maybe no, that makes it too bad. Ugh. In some case like this, I want to make the nicest quality photo, and like my head kind of somewhat doesn't look like it matches too well with the body, especially with skin tone and size. It doesn't look too bad. My head looks a little bigger than normal than what it should be, but with the cowboy hat, like I said, it doesn't look that bad. But the problem is the skin tone. I'm still trying to figure out how to do skin tone, and for some reason this just happened. Why did this just happen? God damn it. Damn it. Why did this just happen? And then issues like this happen where the history and the adjustments just out of nowhere for some reason detach. Okay, there we go. Back to normal. My God. So now I gotta figure out how I can do it. I guess the best thing I can do is hue saturation and try to make my face a little pink. But then the problem with that is it then makes your face kind of have an abnormal color to it. So in something like in a case like this, I think I cannot do anything about it. I can just do this. And it kind of sucks, and I'm a little bit disappointed in that. Now for the next part, adding the logo. Sometimes I add a logo, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do something like adding the logo behind me, which all I have to do is just drag and drop, and I can just do this, where I can just do this and just have the logo in the background, like just keep increasing the size, and then, oh, I don't know why it's like locking on and holding down, but yeah, I can have that like Cold Canyon in the background. Or sometimes I do this where I just put it, oh, oopsie, damn it. I hate when that happens. I can do this and just rotate it, press T and then hit like rotate, and then have it like this in this corner or this in this corner. It really depends on like a ton of variables when trying to Photoshop. So yeah, I just do this right here. I just put it like that. Put it over my shoulder a little bit, make it small, a little bit move it. And then there we go, we got a photo. And I feel like that I'm not a big fan of this emptiness right here. Like for some reason, it might be because of like, I don't know, like it feels kind of more open here, but then empty over here. Like I don't know why it feels like that, but I could put the photo back here, but I can also do it and just put it here. But yeah, it definitely does feel like empty in here. And this is the problem when for me as being a YouTuber. I have to deal with copyrights. I have to deal with Photoshop. I got to deal with thumbnails, and I need to try to make better thumbnails, and it's really hard to do, especially with how much limitation I have in assets. Because, like I said, I can't just buy tons of stock photos and stock licenses. I'm not rich, and that's really fucking expensive, especially on my budget. So I'm not happy with the emptiness here, and I feel like a really sense of unease with looking at the emptiness, but there's nothing I can really do. So I put the logo here. I think I should have put the logo on this side, but I'll put it on this side this time, because I usually put it always on the left side logos. I don't know why. That's always been like me. So pretty much that's done. So what happens is then I export it, which I export as, and I put it to sharper. I don't put it to the bicubic automatic. I do it by sharper, and then pretty much what happens is I just click on this and hit export, and then there we go, photo's done. Then what happens is I just drag the photo and upload it. Okay, well that was the video. I am very burnt out. It was really hard to actually edit this video and actually show you right now just an example of how hard it was to actually make this video. It took many days of just planning and thoughtful consideration and strategy to try to make this video as good as I could. Also, I dubbed some of the audio, and some of the audio that's dubbed is actually pretty bad, but I'm not surprised, because anytime audio is dubbed, it's pretty bad. I mean, look at Japanese anime, for instance. But yeah, please show some support. Please like the video, share it, comment down below. It took a lot of work. I am extremely burnt out. I'm having a visual migraine right now. But it was a fun video. I'm super happy to give people examples as to how I do my YouTube channel and how I do things. So I'm super happy about that. I would have talked about how to set up all the stuff once you upload the video, but that's not that hard. You got your title, you put something witty, you got your description, you discuss what's going on in the game or something like that. Then you have your tags. Tags aren't as important anymore, apparently, so you kind of just put some stuff that's trending or something like that. It's not that hard for that. But yeah, I'm super happy to have done this video. This was a fun video. So yeah, I have to end it here. I'll see all of you next video. See ya!